Okay, so this is a question on standard costing. That was our paper for last year, right? So basically, let me just find a nice color. Oh man, no, wrong place. Oh, right place. Color. I feel like this purple session will cool. Lighter. Nice palettes. I don't know. Okay, so done. Okay, so we have raw material called propane. Okay, I think it's time to also affect the writers, the lines. So okay, line thickness. Let's reduce it. Yeah, here we go. I think that should be fine. Yeah. So we have raw materials used in the production of pellets called propane. And then the standard wage rate is 50 Rand per work hour. And the laborers take 36 minutes. So this is 36 minutes to produce. So 50 is equal to 60, right? And therefore 36 gives us X. And therefore X should be, let's just quickly calculate that. The best thing when it comes to standard costing is just you work as you go. So we're going to say 50 times 36 divided by 60. And that gives us 30 per bag. Per bag, basically. Right? And then it says the fixed overheads. The fixed overheads, including depreciation, are absorbed at a rate of 120 of the direct wages cost per bag. So basically, fixed overheads would be 30 times 120. And that gives us 1.2, which is 36. Okay. Machinery and equipment are depreciated on a straight line over its useful lives, and due to the strain the machines take during production, residual value is 0. Okay, so the existing machine has a machine in production, a machine in operation, nearing the end of its useful life of 4 years. The original cost was 3,523,200. So just to get the dirt per year, assuming that it's like every year like that, it's 3,523,200 divided by 4 gives us 880. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, did not realize new things, yeah? 880,800. And here it was propane, 36 minutes. There we go. And then which has written off for tax. So we need not to worry about tax. The management accounting is currently reviewing the standard costing variances for the past quarter and has noted an increase in customer returns, as highlighted by the adverse sales return variance raised by the Mr. Maker. The machine is old. It is definitely not operating as efficiently as it's supposed to. I know the pallets we try to produce with this thing are not up to the standard, which is an issue. But what am I supposed to do? We battle to find the right consistency of the raw materials. So chances are there's something with the mix variance. And if it is too thick, the machine clogs up. If too thin, the machine keeps spilling. I'm not surprised that customers in particular have started to complain about the quality of the pellets produced, right? And then the actual information in the past quarter, ending October. The actual price paid is 25 per kilogram. So this would be for material. Okay, price AP. And this exceeded the standard price by 25%. So the standard price would be 25 times, we want the 100 over 125 basically. And the 25 times 100 divided by 125 gives us 20. Right? That's what we have, as it has become more and more difficult to source materials in a consistency compatible with the current outdated machine. The actual material usage amounted to 2 kilograms for 1 unit of the finished product due to excessive spillage. So these are the reasons that we'd use to justify the variances that we have found. So we have the material price, and now material usage is given as 2 kilograms for 1 unit of the finished product. So this is interesting because when we go to the material usage, we say standard less actual multiplied by standard price, and it says 2. So this would be the AQ used for 1 unit, right? So we don't know what the standard is for 1. And then the direct wage cost amounted to 2,432.70. And above, remember that the fixed overheads also amounted to, now it's given, right? And essentially, budgeted was 122, the fixed overhead. So essentially, there's a chance that we'll have a variance. So 4,370 times 120. That is supposed to be 29, so obviously something's up, but we'll see as we continue. And then, so this is actual overheads, and this is actual labor. So this would be actual rate for the labor. The management accountant correctly calculated. So correctly, there's nothing to be done here. The direct material price variance is adverse. Direct material quantity variance is also adverse. And we have the direct labor, which is adverse. And, and then we have our direct labor rate. How do we make this disappear? Like, I don't want to see this. Anyway. And then, we'll just work with what we have. We have our direct labor rate, also adverse, and our efficiency adverse. And this makes sense, right? And then now they say new estimates indicate that the old machine can be sold for 485. So this is our residual value once it has been decommissioned. And so there's also recoupment, remember, recoup. And then Mr. has investigated various replacement options for the old and found 2 that are feasible, right? So the new machine will have a capacity that is 20% more than budgeted output per annum, 10% less than current standard input, and 22 Rand per labor hour. Standard will be halved. So the 36 minutes will be divided by 2, which gives us 18 minutes, which is great for us. That means it might be favorable. Labor costs agreed to 4 Rand per increase, so this might be adverse. Because remember, so this is efficiency, and this would be rate. And this would also affect our rates, and this would affect the quantity, and this would affect budgeted output, sales, fixed overheads, sales, fixed overheads, and variable production overhead. These are our variable, nothing, and this would be 20 more. So this is our budget, actual fixed overheads, which might be budget. Okay, the machine will be at $20, and first of its kind. Useful life is 3 years, so for $20 divided by 3 gives us $140 $40, not rands. 1,000. First of its kind, no scrap value as well. Substantially achieve substantial operational savings, and the manager is of the opinion that it will lever off of the better improved quality of pallets and adopt a pricing policy. He estimates that the selling price per pallet would be 180 compared to the current selling price. So obviously our sales price will be better, meaning the sales variances are likely to be favorable. Each bag will be sold at an index level of 0.9 and 0.75 of the selling price in the first year. Yeah. And then the estimated demand will exceed available capacity of the machine. SARS has agreed to a 3-year straight line wear and tear, so it matches wear and tear. And a forward exchange contract can be entered into at a rate of $1 to 17 Rand for the purchase to guarantee the Rand price. Okay. And then, so the question says that we must calculate the standard contribution per bag of pellets, right? So, let me try and do this. Technology, yeah? Okay. So this is the question. Let's go. Which is, yeah. Test 1. Don't know which year. So we're looking for the standard contribution per bag. Okay. So what do we have? Okay. So now, what can we do? The main thing is the starting point. It can be tricky. We're looking for the standard contribution for the bag, and we can use the variances that we have, right? So we have the labor cost, and we have the efficiency, right? So we can start there, because what we want is something that will go straight to the, it can be traced to the bag, right? So we can have the actual labor cost. So we can start with the rate variance. Rate variance. And remember we said we're gonna have the standard rate less the actual rate multiplied by the actual hours. Yeah. But then we're given the variance, which is 2, which is, let's go back here, which is the 47740. 4 minus 4770, sorry. And then we know that our actual, so basically our actual is 243,270, right? Everything in total. And then therefore our standard would be what? The difference. Okay. And therefore, the standard would be 238, 500. Okay. Let's just compare. So 477 minus 243,217. Okay. So we have our standard now, and then we have actual hours. We can try and get the efficiency. So efficiency, I don't know why I like doing that. I think I might be dyslexic or something. Efficiency, variance, right? So we have the efficiency variance. We will have the standard hours less the actual hours multiplied by the standard rate. Yes. Labor efficiency able. And then we have the variance being minus 3,600 equals to what else can we use? We have the standard times the actual. So remember, we can break it out into standard hours times standard rate minus actual hours times standard rates, right? So minus 3. And remember, we kind of have this, which is there. So we have the actual hours times the standard rate, and that gives us the 2. So it's the one from above, 238, 500. And then basically we're looking for this part, x. Therefore, x is equals to basic maths. So 238, 500 minus 3,600 and gives us 34. So 900. And that is our efficiency variance. So just because they're broken down like this, remember we can just multiply like mathematically. So essentially we can use that to work things around. And then we can try to get the standard cost per unit. So the standard cost per unit, right? We found it somewhere here. So standard cost per unit was our standard cost. Cost per unit is equals to our labor rate of 50 times 36 over 60 minutes, and that gives us the 20 that we got, or 30. We got 30 now? Yeah, we got 30 per bag. So 30 per bag, just so you remember. And then our actual output, was, let's see, so we have 2 234,900, because technically this I think I confused something. So basically we're gonna have actual output would be the cost over the SC per unit. So the cost per bag was the one that we calculated apart from the efficiency, and that is the 2,234,900, and that is divided by 30 rands, which is the one that we calculated above, and that gives us the actual output of 7,830 bands. And remember, we're flexing, right? So here, this does represent, here we go. So this does represent the standard time as well as the standard quantity, standard rate, right? Which gives us this. But remember, we are flexing, so this is based on actual rate. Actual rate, and therefore this is basically standard hours and standard rate. We're using actual rate because we are flexed, right? And therefore, and remember what flexing is. Flexing is when we use the standard cost with the actual quantities, and that's what happened here. And then now the actual hours worked. So now actual hours, because remember we're trying to build up the standard cost, so actual hours would be what we got above, which is the actual hours times the standard rate. So which is the 238,500. So the 238,500 gives us the actual hours, and then we divide it by the 50 rand per hour rate per hour, and this would be the actual hour times SR, right? And therefore this gives us the 4,770. So it's similar to the variance of the rate variance. Let's see, hours. Okay. And now, therefore, rate paid per hour. Actual rate paid per actual hour. So actual rate, actual hours worked. Therefore, this is actual rate paid is equals to the direct wages of the 243,270, and it is divided by the 15. And that gives us the 243,270 divided by 50. Sorry. By the 47. Yes, sorry. So we're gonna take the hours we calculated for 770, and that gives us the 51 rands. Okay. And where do we go? So the new rate per hour would be, because of the new machine, 4 rand increase, remember this part. So therefore, new rate for new machine is equals to the 50 rand plus 4 rand as stated, and it gives us 55 rand. So the 51 plus the 4 rand per hour increase in the actual hourly rate. And remember, this is based on the new machine, so let's not confuse it with the old machine. And therefore the kgs of propane used, so now we're going to kgs of propane, right? And then we're gonna say the actual quantity is the actual output, so actual output times the 2 kgs. And remember the 2 kgs, I think it's in the previous information where it says the actual material usage amounted to 2 kgs for 1 unit of the finished product. So this is the 1 unit. So we can just try and justify it by saying the unit. This is material usage. Material usage for 1 unit, right? And then our actual output, we said it's 7,830. So 7,830 was our actual unit, and now we're saying the actual usage was 2 kgs per bag, and that will give us 7,830 times 2, 7,830, 15,660 kgs. Right? And therefore the selling price, or the standard price, was calculated. The standard price is the 20 rand here. So remember the standard price was the 25 times 100 over 125, which gave us the 20 rand, right? And therefore we can say that actual input times the standard price gives us, so actual input is the 15,660 times 20 rands, gives us 313, 200. Okay, 313, 200, and then the usage variance is the one that's given, so less usage variance, and that will be the 62640, and that gives us 250, 560. Okay, and essentially that is the actual output times the standard actual output times the standard cost per unit. And essentially I think we mentioned it there. So the cost of output per unit is that, but now it's like the total thing. Okay, I hope you understood this. And obviously per unit it would be answer divided by 780, 32. Yeah, essentially. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. You can drop down some comments. Just let me know if this was helpful or not. And yeah, thank you.